I spent most of my career in the corporate sector, rising through different levels of executive and loved every minute of it. And then I transitioned to academia, which I have just absolutely loved. And I have gone to every type of Delphi training, learning training, professional development to continue to hone my skill set. I teach in an online synchronous environment at times, sometimes face-to-face, and then in an online asynchronous environment. So I have to constantly build my toolkit for those different types of platforms that I'll be teaching in. So I applied to the case for the case teaching scholarship because I felt like it would, as I mentioned earlier, kind of acknowledge this ability to help with a specific type of content, this franchising content. But I also believe it will be adaptable to my other courses. So I teach organizational development and program evaluation. So I see how it could potentially flow not just through the asynchronous online courses, but through the synchronous online courses in through the face-to-face courses. So I think it will have a big impact on my career in academia. I'm working on some new curriculum and a program that's really relatively new as well. The program is in the business arena of franchising, and it's still a very up and coming type of arena to teach MBA students, undergraduates, and including practitioners. And so one of our ideas was that we wanted to make it real for the students to really invest in this concept of franchising and learn about it. And we thought about some different ways, pedagogical ways, and we thought cases would be an ideal option. Plus, we have access to practitioners who've spent their time and careers in franchising, so we can gain their stories, their dilemmas, their opportunities, and wrap them into an interesting case. So I applied because I have never really written a teaching case. I've written what I would call maybe something that might be akin, but never really done a teaching case. And this is a specialized curriculum. So I really hope to gain the skill set to create these cases that our franchising students would be able to use to fully invest in that sector. And in addition, we want to create pod cases. So not just written cases, these are often asynchronous courses. So we want the students to be able to listen to the 10 or 15-minute case. I'm kind of making 10 or 15 minutes up, but the idea would be to let the students listen, and then I'm hoping to gain some ideas for how these students will connect and work with each other in an asynchronous environment. So maybe it's blogs, maybe it's wikis, maybe they do meet, but the students are in various time zones, and so we don't always have synchronous classes where we can have discussions. So I'm pondering all the different ideas. I always tell students I'm piloting this because I figure if I pilot it, I have a chance to learn from it. So I guess I have minimal concerns because I believe when we are in academia, it's incumbent upon us to try new things, innovative ways to connect with students. So, and I believe if I position something as a pilot, the students get on board with this idea as sort of being the forerunners and the early group to help me test drive these ideas. So I think I can minimize my concerns by using what I'll call that idea of this is an innovative approach, we're piloting it. As with any effort, you want to make sure that the time you spent results in a return on investment. I'm confident it will, because again, as I mentioned earlier, I teach asynchronously. So I really think it's perhaps I should say a bit more challenging for case teaching when you're not actually in that, environment where you're connecting on that level conversationally and dialogue with students in either face-to-face or synchronous environments. So I guess the only other apprehension I have is finding those ways to use the cases in that environment where students may have to blog to each other or create. I have lots of ideas and I'd love to share them with others to see if they can't build upon them or help me think about them differently. Group wikis where they compete and the students each have the same case, and then they come back with what their team thought thought the best approach to this, issue would be. And then we kind of vote. I'm coming up with lots of ideas, and I'm looking forward to having someone I can talk with. The mentorship is so valuable because I know those folks will be able to provide their experiences and maybe help take those ideas I have and funnel them into something that I can execute. So minimal concerns, mostly excitement.